Well, hello, fellow traveler. I wanted to drop in just for a quick check-in, a little bit of a reality tunnel report. I woke up and had such a strange sense come over me that I think something's really shifted here as far as the basic nature of reality. I feel like we've really entered a new timeline collectively, and you may be spotting the signs of this. You may suddenly have a realization that nothing will ever be the same again, that you will never be the same again, that there is no way to retrace your steps back to a certain time or place in the past, that there's been something that has fundamentally been completely restructured here from the ground up. And this really is heading into the unknown territory. But it doesn't feel in any way intimidating. Instead, it has more a sense of needing to get acclimated, really even looking at your current surroundings in a different way. You may feel that the energy that you are usually quite familiar with, because it's your day-to-day scope of influence, feels completely transformed. And so it almost feels like the calm before a storm, but it's not a storm at all, actually. It's just a buildup of latent creative energy that's about to rush forward and really change the entire trajectory of your path. And so this is just a quick check-in. We're not going to go real deep here, but I do have my handy cartomancy deck with me. So we're just going to get a read of the energy for all of you to help guide you through this reality tunnel. Or is it a surreal reality tunnel? It may be. I'm looking over here at a tree. Ironically, it's a cherry blossom tree. And it almost looks like it's winking at me. And it was funny earlier because in the download I brought in about the cherry blossom tree and the spirit of the tree, I talked about a new energy signature coming in that was like petals being carried on a soft breeze. And as I was tuning into that download, because I often take the downloads for a walk after I deliver them because they reveal different layers of meaning for me too. I don't even really understand the scope of what's coming in or how it applies to me as well. I'm part of the collective too, until I tune into it and just allow myself to receive the message. When I'm delivering it, I'm not in that space at all. And as I was tuning into the read and I was walking, right as I got to that point in the read, all of these cherry blossom petals started drifting past me, and I didn't realize it, but I was walking underneath a cherry blossom tree at that time. So it's just those kind of experiences, those moments of fleeting beauty, those gentle reminders, these things coming in to letting you know it's okay. You know, you don't have to brace yourself. Just allow yourself to be curious and open to what's going to start to weave into your world now. Right? Don't block the flow just as you let go and enter this new stream of awareness. All right, bottom of the deck. Yes, we got the 3 of diamonds. There's something at work here. It's a new creative energy that's being introduced into your path. And this is you really working in partnership with spirit, working in partnership with the elements. There is work to be done on this path, but I think right now what's being revealed to you is the nature of your assignment. And as I'm saying this, I notice in the clouds, there's a dolphin-shaped cloud up there. So yes, when it does feel a bit much, or when you feel a little unsettled or maybe nervous because you're not sure what to anticipate up ahead, just know there is no way to anticipate. And adjust yourself, recalibrate yourself by tuning into your breath. The breath can help center you. Take your breath to where you feel tension in your body and just allow it to dissipate those holding patterns and open you up. Jack of Spades. There's some communication coming in here communication coming in quite swiftly. Communication coming in from the air. Now, it could be coming in through air elemental. It could be coming in through an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. There's a lot of fire to it too, though. Whatever this message is, it's powerful. It also changes your current position. It gives you an opportunity to take an action that maybe you wouldn't have been able to before, and something just landed here on the ground. Woo! A certain joker's been turned upside down. I like this. Getting a little different view. Getting a little different view. Ready, slip. Look at that. Ready, slip. Get ready to slip through a doorway of opportunity in a most unusual way. It's not where you've been looking. It's not what you've been anticipating. It is a little bit of that fairy logic where it seems like it might be upside down. Like that's not how this was supposed to turn out, but it's actually right side up. Okay, let me get some more details here. See what we got coming on through for you. More details I can bring in for you. What is this portal of transformation? Maybe you're slipping into a portal of transformation. It's coming through an opportunity. This opportunity is going to come your way through a message that changes the action you're taking moving forward here. It does put you in a better position, but there's something very unanticipated about it. This opportunity may come your way because a tricky force, a tricky element, a tricky character is slipping. Ooh, yeah, that's what it's about. 5 of spades in reverse to the ace of diamonds. This is excellent news, okay? It might be freeing up some resources for you. This could be something that you've invested in for a long time, a desired outcome you invested in for a long time. You may have felt like this was somehow unfairly taken out of your hands, or there was some kind of tricky territory to negotiate. Could have even been a very tricky character you were dealing with, but this is freeing you from the crossroads. And I think whoever or whatever was this sort of meddling force or interruptive force or even distracting force or disorienting force could have even at some points had you kind of chasing your tail, going in circles. I feel like this is being moved out of the sphere of influence. It's making a pathway very clear. And this is excellent news. It's really good news coming in, whatever this is. But I do feel it's not what you were anticipating. Okay. Anything else you want us to know about this? It was 8:13 on the clock with that. This could be connected to a Leo. This could be connected to a Scorpio. It is something that's brought to an end, but I feel like it puts you in more of a position of power in this situation. It's absolutely something that maybe had you going through repeat cycles of transformation in the past. Almost like you felt like this element would come into play and you felt like it was deja vu, or maybe deja voodoo. You're like, I've already transformed this. I've already been through this. Why am I having to go through this over and over and over again? And something's happening where this horse is finally being caught up. Ooh, we got a little dog barking over there. Little dog barking over there. Okay. Issuing a warning call. It's a little dog though. It's a little dog. Its bark is worse than its bite. Okay. Yeah, this could be something that's a bit like this, a kind of yippy sort of influence. Somebody who talks real big, but they're not working with the power that they're kind of flexing. Hello. All right. So I'm gonna have to do some editing. It's the only problem with doing videos out on the fly, on the beat of the street, is sometimes you catch people in the frame, and I don't like to put people in that kind of position where, you know, they didn't ask to be put in a video. So I always make sure I protect their identity. Maybe you didn't ask to be put in a situation. You didn't ask to be put in a situation. Somebody put you in middle of some kind of mess, and you didn't ask for that, okay? And I think that whoever did this, whoever's been having you sort of in a repeat cycle, you're giving this character the slip. This character is getting slipped up. Whatever this is, I do feel it's rerouting you, and that may be why reality feels very different right now. 10:31 on the clock, Halloween vibes, man. There could have been something that went down around that time of year, okay? This could involve a Scorpio. There really could be a strong Scorpio connection with this, okay? All right, any more details? I also think it's speaking of those 8th house matters. Also, it's a little mischief in play, you know what I mean? It's sort of like dress up. It reminds me of that Dead Kennedys song, Halloween, you know? Every day is Halloween. You know, it's always like these masks that are worn. People put on these fronts. They put on these masks and they sort of like play like they're more formidable than they really are. Or you may have put yourself, you know, out of your own unconscious places, a mask or a veneer on a situation, and told yourself it was more intimidating than it really is. But it does give a little bit of that vibe of something's being unmasked, and when you see it for what it really is, you're looking at it and you're like, oh, is that all this was? That's why we went through all that. There's something about this. Whatever it is, it does put you in a stronger position. You have a stronger foundation now with whatever is happening here, 11:55 on the clock. It is justice. It's bringing you some kind of balance, but it's also this wheel of fortune energy. So what goes up must come down, and you can kind of know your place in that by looking at where have you been, how have things been for you for a long spell here. If you've had a real rough road of it, things are about to get a lot easier. The power's been put in your hands. If you feel like, you know, maybe you're doing a little reflective work, some people may be in this space where you're in a different place of understanding now, but you're looking at the way you navigated a situation in the past and you go, you know, I could have done that better, or that wasn't really coming from the highest place in my consciousness. I have some regrets around that. You may be dealing with like some reverberations of that just to kind of sweep the way clear on your own road. So it might get a little tricky for a bit, but I do feel like all of this, no matter how it's playing out for you, it's really about clearing your path forward. And even if it is something that you got a little like road work to do, it does clear out the old energy. It finally frees you from some repetitive cycle. That's what I got here. Get this little light here. This little light here from that street light back there coming in. All right, so there's a little light shining on the subject. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Here it is again. Only this time, yeah, it's right side up. You see what I mean? So what goes up must come down. I think that's the big message here. Everything comes back around. It all comes home to roost in the end. So you're going to know what your place is in that. Really, it's kind of, you know, heads or tails. It depends on how you've been working your path, but do expect to have a full recognition that there's no way to kind of repeat a cycle that has been played out one too many times. There's no way to continue to approach something methodically. Something's radically shifting here. And you're going to know about this because it's not like, oh, I got an inspired message. No, this is like something really coming through. This is receiving a phone call, or this is getting a message sent to you. It's a text coming your way, or it's some kind of tangible confirmation that really this whole game is shifted and the road is opening up for you, and you have a brand new opportunity coming into view. 14:44 on the clock. Something's been balanced out here. It's been transformed, and it's rooting a new reality. And let's go ahead and do a cut of the deck and see how that's going to play out for the majority of you. We got 10 of diamonds here. Okay, something that is really getting established in a brand new way. Oh, wow, look at that. To the 10 of spades. You see what I'm saying? It's like apples and oranges, apples and oranges. You know? What goes up must come down. All things come back around. So if you've been doing the work, if you've been really putting yourself out there in such a way where you're trying to act from a place of understanding the part you play, and you've been doing the necessary healing and integration and releasing of all the heavy vibes, man, it's really about to root something quite prosperous for you. It has a lot of material stability coming in around it, a lot of financial up-leveling, just a real strong foundation to build your future upon, brand new beginnings. The transformation is going to be like day and night. You're really going to feel like you're coming out of a very dark time and you're stepping into the light. Big transformation coming in. And for others, it may be that something was built on the wrong kind of foundation, you know, and it has to unravel in order to be turned around and made right. You know what I mean? There needs to be a little bit of a hangman kind of energy here, getting a different kind of perspective of situation. I want to see, you know, you may be dealing with somebody that at one point they had that upper hand and they were really being heavy-handed with that power they held and put you through quite a bit. Now, they may be getting to understand your perspectives through getting to walk a mile in your shoes. That's how it's kind of coming through. Let me get one more card on that. Can you give me some clarification on that, Spirit, for those who may be feeling like things are unraveling or they're dealing with more challenges? Give me some details here. Okay, yeah, there's quite a bit that came out with this. Okay, we had the Four of Hearts come out in reverse, okay? So this is some disappointment that's being turned around. And it could relate to a star mate. This is upright, okay? Coming in with 10 energy, Wheel of Fortune. So yeah, something's being transformed here and road is being opened that I feel at one point was closed unfairly. This could be some kind of important meeting between two people that when this meeting happens, it sets something right. They got wrong somewhere along the way. This also came up in reverse, okay? Three of Diamonds, because somebody worked a situation in such a way that it manipulated an outcome that caused a diversion. But I really feel like whatever went down there, if it rerouted you and it took you to some really deep, mean and heavy places, you needed to go through that. You did. There's certain things you needed to understand, certain things you needed to see accurately, so you can really step into the potential of what is ready to root on your path now. And that's what you need to remember. So don't spend a lot of time sinking into a feeling of looking back too long at what went wrong and settling into that place of gloating because you feel like somebody who caused some problems for you is now getting caught up in the same kind of snare that was set for you. You know, I mean, I think ultimately the majority of the time it comes from people acting from unconscious places. I don't think that it's very often somebody who's just purely, you know, cruel and heartless, you know. I mean, there are those people out there in the world, but I think most of the time people act from places that they don't even understand, you know, what's compelling them to lash out like that, all right? All I know is if you get too caught up in attaching yourself to that kind of perspective where you're celebrating somebody's comeuppance, you know, I think it's going to backfire on you. Now I need to get one more on that. give a little clarity about the reality of those who get too caught in that kind of place. Yeah, if you get caught up in that, you're going to throw the 4 of clubs into reverse. So just when you finally got to the other side of a long stretch of road that was difficult to navigate, that really burdened you and weighed you down, you're going to find it even worse off than ever before. And this opportunity to finally close cycle on that and step into your fulfillment will be taken right out of your hands. I mean, I do feel like this is a time when we have to walk our path with impeccable integrity. All right. I feel like that's really important here. And let me get one final message about that. All right, Spirit. Well, if we don't get stuck in that trapping, which is really just being sucked in by what's called the seeds, the power that comes on the other side of transformation can sometimes become a thing that is like this glimmery lure, and then people become more hungry for power. And it's the very thing that can take them back into those unconscious places again. So if we continue to maintain the proper perspective, and if we just open ourselves to the blessing that's happening in our life, and we kind of like clean our hands of any kind of sense of needing to celebrate somebody else's road work because of challenges that were brought our way because of how our paths intersected and how those fates intertwined. If we continue to stay upright here, how will this come through for us, Spirit? So it might be coming through as a little bit of warning, just be careful how you're moving here. Yeah, because look, it comes out upright. This is what you've been waiting for, okay? This is something that is the beauty that peeks through those storm clouds on the other side. This is something that is going to fill you up, and there is big celebration around this. It comes through news. There's something you're hearing here. Somebody's reaching out to you. They're putting you in the loop of something. It brings an opportunity. This allows you to take an action that completely changes the scope of your life, and it's something to really celebrate. So enjoy what's opening up on your path, and don't worry about the road work of others, because you're not going that way. Godspeed.